the head coach situation. There was this nugget from Brad Biggs that we have for you that is relevant to a point, I think. But Biggs saying that while I was under the assumption Eberflus signed a 4-year contract when he was hired, I'm now led to believe he actually signed a 5-year deal that runs through the 2026 season. If you think about it, when you're selling the idea of a rebuild and preaching patience, it stands to reason Eberflus would seek a deal longer than 4 years. And from what I'm told, I believe he got that. Yeah, because I think that's the easy follow-up question. And I know Law, who's producing today, has that question. Why in the world would you give an unproven head coach a 5-year contract? I get where Biggs is coming from on that, though, that they knew going into this thing that they were on the same page, that year one was a complete teardown. If you're asking me to have one teardown year, can I please have that year tacked on at the end of my deal? I think it's a completely fair request for literally anybody, in that situation.
Remind me, at the time, was there other teams talking to Matt Eberflus? That's a real question, not rhetorical.
I don't think so. It's possible Dan Quinn was asking for more money.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn was definitely sought after more than Matt Eberflus. There's no question about that. Dan Quinn is also 7-2 right now with the Washington Commanders.
Yeah. Listen, Biggs is obviously very well sourced and has been covering the speed since Sid Luckman, seemingly. So I trust
you. Yeah.
Right. Me and Biggs have been together. I mean, I used to be booking him on the radio back in 2007 to go on Cap's show back then. So it's been a minute that he's been covering the team. So, look, I think it's a little bizarre that he was able to get 5 years looking back at it. And kind of crazy that the Bears thought they were this right with Flus, that they were willing to give it to him. But I don't think it means a whole lot going forward if this quarterback situation continues to spiral the way it is right now.
Yeah, it matters a little. It matters a little because, and we had this conversation last week when we thought it was 4 years too. If it's a 4-year contract, you have to make a decision at the end of this year. You don't have to, but you kind of do. You can't just. You're going to have Flus go into the second year of your rookie quarterback's contract with just it's either extend them or fire them. That's how that works in almost every situation, other than a rare exception this year actually did happen with Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys. But that's Jerry Jones, and that's not a rookie quarterback situation. And to me, that's very different. 2 years left on the deal. There's not necessarily that urgency. And there are situations with ownership sometimes where I don't know why this cord's bothering me so much, but it is.
Anyway, keep going there, Hoge.
But to your point, if it's still this bad, I don't think that just having one extra year left on the deal is going to change any type of maybe in the past, but I just find I have a hard time believing that Kevin Warren's going to sit there in the room and care too much that there's one more year left on that contract than we thought.
Right, that's my point. Like, I don't think it matters. If they want to move on, they're going to move on.
Yeah.
Now, to your sidebar point of it, they don't have to make a decision going forward this year. And I don't think, considering where they're at, there's any way that they would extend Matt Eberflus at the end of this year if indeed he has 2 more years. You're going to have to do this again and better next season if, in fact, they somehow get this turned around and they start winning football games and the quarterback starts looking like a number 1 overall quarterback, which at the end of the day, I still think is, I'll keep on saying this until I'm blue in the face, Hoge. What matters most about this season is where Caleb ends it. And right now, he's not anywhere close to where he wants to be from his press conference today, where the Bears want him to be. And that's okay on some level. I know it's not fun right now, but they're 8 games into a career. It ain't easy playing quarterback in the NFL. It takes time. The Bears have a zillion moving parts. The protection in front of them is not good. So new offensive coordinator, rookie quarterback, bad offensive line, perhaps throw aging receivers in there as well. All these things matter a lot. But you still, by the end of the year, after 9 more games, it should look a lot better. There should be some cohesion, timing, rhythm, all the things that are missing right now. And if that's not there, that will be the end of the Flus. But if that happens and the Bears dig themselves out of this like they did last year, starting slow and, maybe played one meaningful game late in the year, if you want to call the Browns game a meaningful game. It felt like it at the time. They're still an outside shot of the playoffs. If you're, to me, like, that's still on the table, and the quarterback getting looking better is still on the table. So I don't think it's, along with the Biggs report of that there's 2 more years on the contract, people racing to fire Matt Eberflus. It ain't happening right now.
We all silly like the mayor.